Hi, this is Trust and Neil with the Call to Learn Conference, and we have Karen Bates here with us, and she's going to be sharing with us her story about homeschooling. So Karen, I'm excited to hear what got you involved in homeschooling and why did you start?
Well, when my kids were little, it never occurred to me to homeschool. And I had a friend, we were living in Baltimore at the time, my oldest was in first grade, and we would go running together. And she really did not like her son's first grade teacher, so she pulled him out and decided to homeschool. And she started this journey and she started learning. So she would tell me some of the things she was learning, and she was reading the Thomas Jefferson education book, and she'd tell me about the things that were written there and some of the principles she was learning. And I thought, this is really neat. I can do this when my daughter gets home from school. I'll start reading her classics. And so we started reading The Secret Garden at night, and I would just read to her, and it was good. And then the more she'd tell me, the more I thought, oh, I want to do that too. But then I just didn't have time because she was gone, and then she'd come home and she had all these spelling words, and it was such busy work because she's a quick learner, so she'd learn the words the first time she wrote them, but she had to write them each 10 times every day, and I just felt bad for her because she was so bored, and there's all these things I was so excited to teach her that I didn't have time for. And I just put her to bed at night, and I thought, I hardly saw you today, and it just made me kind of sad. And my friend had planted the seed in that maybe this is a possibility, but my husband had known some weird homeschoolers, so he was kind of like, we're not doing that with our kids. So I started looking into half-day programs. I thought maybe if she was home by noon, I would have more time with her. And in Texas at the time, I found one that got out at noon, and I thought, okay, I can do that. It was a half-hour drive, but I thought it would be worth it. But shortly after I found this program and we went to the orientation meeting, my husband got a job offer in Utah, and I looked for programs in Utah. I couldn't find anything, and I said, well, we'll be moving in the middle of the first semester of the year. Might be kind of tough. Maybe we should just try homeschooling for a year. And at the time, he wasn't sure he would be getting the job, so I guess he had a job interview. And he's like, well, yeah, maybe if we move to Utah, we can do that. And so I started reading a lot of books. I got kind of excited. I thought maybe this is a possibility. So I read, and I got really excited about homeschooling. And when we found out he was getting the job, I reminded him, I remember we were going to homeschool if we did this. And he's like, oh, I said that? I said, yeah, I'm really excited.
I'm prepared.
He's like, I'm not sure. And I said, well, I've read these 4 books. If you want to read them too, then we can discuss and come. He's like, I don't want to read those books. I'm like, oh, we'll just go with what I feel like I should do. He's like, all right, fine. So we started homeschooling and that first year. And at first I had...
So how old is your daughter now?
She is 17 now.
Well, she's now 17, but how old was she in the story?
At the time. So this was going into... We moved from Baltimore to Texas, so she went to 2nd grade in Texas, and so Utah was 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
So she was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And so, I had also a 1st grader at the time, and then a couple little ones. So, we just started trying it, and I remember just crying that first day. And just was like, this is not how I've envisioned it. I had all these cutouts for learning the scientific method as well as like the classification, and I thought my kids would be so excited, and they were like, this is so boring, and they were not all interested, and I'm like, what am I doing? They don't care. And so it was tough. And so slowly I started to, I remember writing out to the Yahoo group because I didn't know any homeschoolers at the time, but I knew the Yahoo group, so I wrote out like, I don't know how to do this. This is so hard, and my kids don't care, and they're not listening. And somebody said, just go look at them while they're sleeping, and remember why you're doing this. And so I did that, and it made us such a, that was just great advice because I thought it just gave me the courage to try again the next day and to be able to keep, it was trial and error and seeing what Heavenly Father wanted to do. And, I think as all homeschoolers, after a while, realized, like, maybe I don't have to do what the government says I have to do every year. Maybe I don't have to stick to this curriculum or these particular. But then you're left kind of floundering, like, well, if I don't have to do that, what do I do? So it just became, I started to, like, oh, there's all these beautiful things out there. There's all these wonderful books. There's great artists. Which one do I start with? Which paintings? Which music? And I just wasn't sure. So that's when you get humble and you pray a lot, and try to figure out what is it that you want me to do. And at the time, I don't think I realized how much I was being guided. Looking back, I see Heavenly Father's hand in all of these little things, the books that we read. We started with a lot of family books with, Little House on the Prairie, things like that I think I needed the vision of at the time. And I think our whole family needed to have that vision. Because I grew up on Simpsons, that kind of family. And so it was good to have like this vision
different model.
Yeah. And we needed that in our family and Heidi and just beautiful books that kind of helped us see a different way of living. And so Heavenly Father's hand was in all of these little things that he led me to. And it was neat to look back and realize how much he was there. Because sometimes I just think I pick up a book, oh, this looks good. But I think he guided me to a lot of those things and the people I needed to meet. And so eventually it became, I just started to realize that my role wasn't so much as a crammer of information so they can pass tests. It was someone that could lead them to their Heavenly Father, who would lead them to what they needed to be doing in this life. And it became a lot more peaceful for me because it wasn't me being in control anymore. It was it was Heavenly Father who knew them. And that was okay.
Awesome. So what was the response of your daughter when you homeschooled her?
When I pulled her out, she loved it. She never really enjoyed school.
Oh, okay.
She was really bored.
Yeah.
I think she just picked up things so quickly that it was hard for her to be there. And she's kind of an introvert, so all the social thing all the time got to her. She'd just come home exhausted. So she was really happy to be pulled out. And my next son is really social. So he really enjoyed kindergarten, but I think when I told him he'd get to stay home, he was like, oh, that's cool too. He was so little that he enjoyed being home.
That's good.
And I haven't ever had any of them so far, want to go to public school. So that's been really good. Nobody's fought me on it or said, this is something I really want.
Yeah.
So I do, I guess my 7-year-old, when it was time to kindergarten, he kind of would watch the kids get on the bus and oh, they all get to go somewhere, because he's really social too. Yeah. But, and he's like, well, we're going to go on a hike today or something, try to cheer him up and get him excited about what we were doing. And he loves it now too. So
oh, good.
It's good.
Good. And tell me your testimony of homeschooling. And your father and your husband's too. So I want to know both.
Of how we feel about homeschooling now. I think I know Heavenly Father sent us here as families, and he expects us to learn as families. And everybody has different ways that they do that, and we outsource a lot of things a lot of times, and sometimes we need to outsource to public school. But I think we need to be prayerful about how we outsource. I think Heavenly Father blessed us with these children because he knew that we had unique things that each other needed, and if they're gone so much, sometimes they miss on some of those things. And so I just really feel like I've grown so much from the experience. It's kind of a refiner's fire,
Yeah.
you have to just get close to Heavenly Father and see what he wants you to do. And so I think for mothers, it's very, very good. And for the children as well, as they learn to get along with each other, develop those relationships, learn to serve one another, and to, when you're together all day, you have to learn to get along,
Yeah.
and to resolve conflicts. Of course, there's still conflicts, but we have to learn how to resolve them and how to learn to get along. And so, and I get to share my testimony with them every day. So I think it's just been a very good thing for our family.
Awesome.
And if you talk to my husband now,
yeah,
he is he'll tell everyone it's been a very, very wonderful thing, and he's a very good advocate of it. He'll all of my sisters-in-law that have children homeschool now as well, and at first they, my brothers were like, this is crazy, your kids are going to be weird, but now they're all big advocates of it as well. I think it just spreads once you start to feel it and to see the difference. It's just something that spreads, and you want to try it.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And how cool that he's now very supportive, and that's great. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
To subscribe to our YouTube channel, click here. To choose from our gifts and request updates on our most popular topics, visit calledtolearn.com. For more videos like this one, click this playlist. For Table Talk discussions, choose this playlist.